So at this point, we know exactly how to create a new data in Mongo with post endpoint, how to fetch the data with get endpoints, and it's worth to know as well how to update them. So in this video, I'll show you how to expose a new put endpoint, and additionally as a bonus, how to read additional headers which were provided by our REST API client. With that being said, let's open up app user controller and add a new function. Let's call it fun update. And this one will take the identifier as a string argument. Additionally, we'll have to provide some request body with a new values which we would like to set for particular app user. And as I've mentioned earlier, to read the header value, we have to specify the header annotation with the name of the header which we would like to simply read here. In my example, I'll go with x_foo header, and this will be a string value. With that being done, let's specify the app user as a response body, response type, println. Usually you would rather use some logger if you would like to do so, but I'll go with simply println header, and let's use the interpolation here and display the header value. One more thing we have to do here is to simply specify the HTTP method to which we should respond with this function. This will be put/id to perform the binding between the ID string value and the value which user will provide right there. As the return, let's go with app user service and update. This time we'll go with identifier and request. I would like this request to be converted to app user model. So again, we'll use the toModel extension function which we've introduced when creating a post endpoint. Again, we have to navigate to update, alt enter, and create a member function. Everything is as expected, and firstly, I'll reuse the getById function to make sure that we can find the app user with requested identifier. Val found, and right here I would like this to be the found user from our database. To update, let's introduce a new variable called updated, and what we'll do will be simply our model. Unfortunately, it was called toModel. I would like this to be called simply app user, so let's rename that. And all we have to do here is to copy the identifier with the value of found user. That's all required. We don't have to perform any other mappings here. And the last thing, app user repository, and let's use the dedicated update function and provide with the updated value. Ctrl+Alt+L, and then Shift+F10 to run or rerun our application. As we can see, server is up and running. So let's get back to Postman and simply introduce a new endpoint. I will go with duplicate tab and simply change the value. I will copy from our post value the request body, which I will provide here, row text JSON, and here I will provide some value 3, email 1234, some street 33, Warsaw, let's change that to Krakow, code should be 12. Let's say. Firstly, let's provide some invalid value right here so that we should see, unfortunately, bad request because the required header x_foo is not specified. So when I go with x.foo value, this time I can see that user with identifier was not found and that 404 not found is returned. When I go to the application, we can see that the header and the value is displayed right here. So let's bring the C right here. Again, let's reuse our get endpoint, verify the data before, hit put, send. We can see with this endpoint that these values, all of them were updated. To double check, let's use once again the get endpoint. And again, we can see that it was updated successfully, which means that everything is working as expected. See you in the next videos.